So you can't serve two masters. In your imagination, you can't serve two masters. In other words, well, when I work with clients, I see this a lot. A lot of the women that I've been working with, especially recently, I see this, and it crops up in my own energy as well. That you're manifesting something, you are, trying to create a new way of being, or something you want to have or do in your life, and you're imagining it. You're putting yourself, hopefully, in the first person of actually having it, like being in the end result of having it, feeling the freedom, the satisfaction, the fulfillment of having it. But what you default to in what I call your home frequency is a feeling about yourself that's not so great. So in your own imagination, all the worry and the fear that you have about the thing you really want not working out, you not being worthy enough of having it, you not being the kind of person that could have it, hold it, sustain it, that kind of worry, that kind of fear, you're serving that master in your imagination. Because what is worry other than giving your energy over to a worst case scenario in your imagination? So you're serving that master while at the same time, and you're defaulting to that energy. In other words, that's in your normal, everyday, waking default state of being. You don't feel that great about yourself. You don't feel that you trust yourself. You don't have faith in the highest version of you. You're not loving yourself completely without conditions, no matter what shows up in your life. Okay? While at the same time, you're trying to serve this master of this greater ideal of yourself in your imagination. The stronger energy is always going to win out. The stronger energy is always going to win out. And that's always going to be dictated by who do you return to? There's another creator here on YouTube who's really wonderful. And he talks about this example, and I love it, that because I've talked about your home frequency for a long time. That's your everyday waking state, how you feel about yourself, your go-to feeling about who you are, whether you like yourself, whether you love yourself, etc. That's your home frequency. And it's a way to kind of get a better grasp on what this is that you go to a party, maybe you drive to a party and you're excited, and you go to that party, you're celebrating someone's maybe surprise birthday. And man, it's fun. It's a great time. Everybody's having some laughs, and maybe you're seeing people you haven't seen in a while, and you're having great conversations, and there's delicious food and wine or kombucha, whatever you like. And then the party's over, and the afterglow of the celebration fades, and you're driving home in your car. What state do you return to? And remember, your state and who you be are two different things. We are an eternal being, the watcher, the creator, the envisioner, experiencing different states. You are not the state. The states of being that we enter into and we go out of, that is not us. And if you're using that to define you, the state you're being to define you, please stop doing that because they're not the same. We, as the eternal creator, the infinite you, the self with a capital S, okay? The higher self, the God self, is the one experiencing different states. You are not the state. You are not even the experiencer. You could say that your body, the small self, is the experiencer. Because even then, that higher self, that God self, is still watching, is still observing, partaking through the small you. But that self with capital S never identifies with the state, and you shouldn't either. Because states are never fixed. How do we know that? Well, there you are in that party mode, in the celebration. And it's great and it's fun. You're in this state of happiness, exuberance, maybe ecstatic joy to be around your friends, and all the festivities are going on and they're wonderful. There you are, driving home, and maybe in a different state. That state shifts, right? Or maybe, we have a fantastic week on a vacation, maybe you're doing what a lot of us do. You want to assume a different state of being by being the you that's on vacation. But wouldn't you like to be the you that you don't need a vacation from? It's about you choosing states. That isn't your identity. It's just a state. And states shift. They are not fixed. They are impermanent, just like everything else in this 3D matrix and architecture that we call the outer world. Okay? You are not the state. You are choosing states. And you can choose to go in and out of as many different states as you like. Some of us have had roller coaster days. I have them often where I wake up and I'm in a fantastic state, and then, whatever, I'm responding, reacting to things in my environment, and maybe I'm not in such a great state. But then when I snap out of it, I say, hey, which master am I serving? I could stay in this state and think it's fixed and think it's permanent, that, this shitty experience that I'm allowing to dictate what my feelings or my state is going to be. And I could say, wait a minute, I'm the self with a capital S. I choose. And I'm not going to worry, and I'm not going to fear, because that's a misuse of your imagination. And if you are actively, whether you want to call it, becoming, I don't really like to use that word, or manifesting, I don't really like to use that word either, but for the sake of brevity, we'll use that to explain the situation. You're manifesting, you're becoming a better, more ideal version of yourself. That version of you, when you think about it, she or he loves themselves completely. In that ideal that you've formed, that you're giving some attention or awareness to in your imagination, maybe not as much as the worry or the fear, but when you are giving your attention, your focus, and awareness over to that version of you in your imagination and serving that master, what you're really serving is the energy of love. Because love wants you. Yes, love wants you to have everything. Love wants you to live in your truth. And what is it to live in your truth? To be in a state of love. And here's the kicker. You don't have to have everything going perfectly in your world in order to love yourself. I'm going to say that one more time. You don't have to have everything in your life going perfectly, peachy, hunky-dory, 100% of the time, in order to be all the love that you are and give yourself all the love that you are, because you give it all to yourself. It's not the money you want. It's not even that ideal version of you once she gets that money or gets that success or receives those accolades. The outer world can't give you anything. I have a video on that. I'll put it in the comments in the description of the video. You give it all to yourself. And if you want to give it all to yourself, whatever that ideal is, whatever you have it built up in your imagination as that thing you want to be, do, or have, that ideal lives in complete love and faith and trust of herself or himself, without conditions, regardless of circumstances. Yes. So, are you serving that master of your imagination? Are you being loyal to that version of you? And a better way to ask that is, am I being loyal to all the love that I am? If you put your hand on your heart right now, and you close your eyes and you breathe in deeply and say, I love you. I love you, Kathryn. How does that feel? Do you believe it? Do you trust it? Do you want to hear it again? Then say it again. Because you're never going to get that satisfaction from anything that you think is outside of you, anything you're placing on a pedestal, anything you're worshiping as that external thing, that thing outside of you that you think is going to give you that feeling. Good luck. You give it to yourself. The money and the success and the things you want, they don't deliver the happiness. They come to you because you are in that happiness and that joy and that faith and love with yourself, because you give that love to yourself. The world has to match it. It's not the other way around. And it's certainly true that you can't be a match for that if you're trying to serve two masters. In other words, you can't pretend or just pay lip service to the fact or nod your head in agreement and say, yep, I get it, Kathryn. I'm going to love myself. And then turn around and click off of this video and scroll into something else. And then remember, oh, I didn't do that thing. I'm such a jerk. Such a fucking disappointment in myself. You can't do that. You can't serve those two masters and then hope for the highest and best outcome. Because like I said, whatever frequency of you that you default to, if it's not based in love, if it's not based in building yourself up, like anyone who you ever thought was like, a mentor, it could be someone who fostered you, it could be your parents, it could be, a grandparent, a teacher, anyone that you ever wanted to hear the words from, anyone you respected or held in high regard, and you wanted to hear words from them to the tune of, I really am so proud of you and I love you. No matter what. You're amazing. You are a light in this life. Never stop being who you are. That will never be as satisfying coming from someone else. I don't care how high of a regard you hold those people in. It will never be as satisfying coming from those people as it is when you say it to yourself and mean it and feel it. And you feel that resonance and you feel it ripple through your entire body, through your entire being, through your entire field. Because here's why love wants you to have it all. Love, you could swap that out with God, source, because it's all the same. We come from love, we return to love. If you want to, swap out the word God, you don't like that word because of dogmatic religious connotations, that's fine. It's all the same energy. It's love. We come from it, we return to it. There's nothing that ever said or was ever written down somewhere that we can't be that 100% while we're here, regardless of conditions or circumstances. The new human gets this. It's all about love. It's all about love. That's the foundation. And the universe, God, source, love, wants you to have it all. And enjoy it and savor it and love it and pay it forward from a place of your own surplus. Because the world needs you at that level. The world needs us all at that level. Because that's the only way we're ever in service to ourselves. And the only way we're ever in service to the world. To the greater cosmological order, for that matter. It's only when we are overflowing in surplus from all the love that we are that the world can make the best use of us. And we get bogged down in these ideas of, I'm not doing enough, or that old thought keeps rattling around in your brain about, that one thing you did when you were in 7th grade that was mean. Or, that one thing you said to somebody. Your imagination doesn't care. Those are just thoughts. Those are echoes. Those are phantoms. All memories are thoughts. And a thought is either something you can just be like, oh, that's interesting, and let it, let it pass through like vapor or water. You don't have to attach yourself to it. You don't have to hinge your whole identity on a thought. And yet that's what we do. And here's another kicker. Every time you reach for something new, every time you reach for, a higher ideal of you, a way of being, something you want to do or have that's different from what you're experiencing now. It's not new to the world because there's nothing new under the sun, but it's new for you. Every time you reach for something new, you will butt up against everything you've placed between you and that. All the false ideas, all the limiting beliefs, all the shitty thoughts. You don't have to go looking for them. You don't have to create, a 30-page journaling session about all the ways you're limited because you want to be able to do some EFT tapping and tap them out. Just reach for something new. Everything you've placed in the way of that will volunteer itself. Trust me, this works every time. And you can choose to give credence to those thoughts and stay in the worry and stay in the fear and serve that master in your imagination. Your imagination doesn't care. It will simply create in the world of form whatever you're placing the bulk of your attention, focus, and awareness on. It doesn't care. Your imagination is impartial. It's neutral. It doesn't care if that's good for you or not. And, just look at the way your life has been. Do you like it? Do you like the things that have come to pass? Because I will tell you this, and you're going to have to take responsibility for it, if not now, at some point. All current reality, all present circumstances are the results of past thinking, of past imaginings. Anything you'll say, well, this is my future, this is what I choose to be. Hey, it's only and ever going to be the result of what you're presently imagining. So I'll ask you again, who are you being loyal to? Which master in your imagination are you serving? Because whatever you are giving yourself over to, your focus, your attention, your awareness with feeling, and I'm not talking about feeling in the sense of having this kind of toxic positivity of always trying to be high vibe. That's bullshit. That's spiritual bypassing. I'm talking about the feeling of, I feel it as if I have it now. And that feeling is relief or satisfaction or fulfillment or a sense of freedom. I feel liberated. I'm talking about that. Like if you were experiencing what you want, what you say you want right now, it was just here. You have it right in front of you. You're doing it, you're having it, you're being it, you're living it. That primary feeling, don't think about it too long. What is it? Freedom, relief, satisfaction, joy. Serve that. And serve it not just once, because you're going to be doing this for the rest of your life. It's about serving that master that you're like, this is me. This is always who I've known to be me. And if it feels good, if it feels light, if it feels like a relief, that's love. That's love moving through you and saying, this is yours by divine design, by sacred birthright. This is yours. You know why? Because it feels light. It feels good. It gives you relief. It gives you satisfaction. It gives you joy to feel it. The universe wants you at that level. Why? Because that's the only level we can truly be in service to ourselves and in service to the world. The only way to do that is to be all the love that we are. So give it all to yourself. And here's the thing, you give it all to yourself in your imagination first. So start there, because that's where it all starts. Everything. Everything that you say is part of your current circumstances, that existed as inner imaginings first. That's the way it works. So be vigilant and be loyal to that version of you. It can all exist. What I say to the women I work with who take my Flourish program, we look at it through the context of our gene keys. Because I love working with the gene keys. Not because it's an answer, but because it's a tool. It's a powerful tool, because what it does, it lays out in a very visual way all the things that are just part of your potential, because you have your shadows in there, you have your gift frequency in there, you have your cities, which are your superpowers, your soul superpowers in there. It's all laid out in front of you, so you see like a map of your potential laid out in front of you. And of course, that's just a snapshot. That's not the entirety of you. How could it be? But it's a wonderful tool, the gene keys, for helping you see and have a visual map of all that's available to you. Like, I can choose the shadow of corruption that's in one of my gene keys. I can choose the shadow of distraction, because that's all just potential. I can choose struggle. But just as easily, I can serve the master of my own enrichment. I can serve innovation. I can serve beauty. I can serve light and wisdom and presence and invincibility. These are all my cities. And the city, not City, but city, Siddhi. It's a Sanskrit word, which basically means your superpower, your soul expression without restriction. It's all on offer. It's all what you can choose. And what I tell the women when I work with them in Flourish is, so out of these potentials, you put them together. Think of it like a meal. When I first work with women in the Flourish program, and I have it available as a self-paced program, and I only do it for 7 members at a time. And as soon as all 7 women walk in, I close the doors, and then I'll be opening again probably maybe in July or end of June. But for now, the doors are open on this, and you can get in here. But one of the first things I ask the women to do who join Flourish program is to list their shadows in one column, their gifts in another column, and their cities in another column. And I ask them to just observe, just look at them, just read them. Read all the shadows together, and then read all the gifts together, then read all the cities together, and just kind of sit with them and contemplate them, just kind of let them speak to you. And then later on in the program, I ask them to think of it as like, this is a buffet. This is a smorgasbord. All of these different potentials represented by your shadows, your gifts, and your city frequencies in your own Gene Keys hologenetic profile. Think of it like a buffet. Think of it like you're going to the buffet or the smorgasbord at the Bellagio in Vegas, which is obnoxious, by the way. It's just too much food. I'm not into that kind of thing. However, you can think of it that way, or going like to, some massive buffet. So many things on offer. There's a carving station. There's, desserts and pies and pastries and biscuits and breads and vegetables and salad and everything. It's kind of like your gene keys when you're looking at your hologenetic profile. It's all on offer. You could take from it what you want. However, if you were to make a meal out of all that's available there that really nourishes you, what would you take? You'd find you wouldn't need as much. You take a little bit of initiative. I'll take some freedom. I'll take some innovation, some idealism, resourcefulness. Yes. Self-assurance. Innocence. Harmony. These are all my gifts and cities that I have made a meal of. And in my imagination, whenever I'm imagining something that I want to come to pass, it's like I put these things together and I make a meal out of them. And that's what I give my energy over to. And I'll notice the other things coming in that are part of the shadow, but that doesn't nourish me. It's there. I can accept that it's there. I'm not trying to get rid of it. I can walk into a buffet and I could just be like, well, I don't feel like eating prime rib. I don't really choose to have that nourish me. I don't go over to the chef and say, throw that out. I just don't go there. I just don't grab something from the carving station. I don't get any prime rib. Instead, I get some of the roasted vegetables or the salad, and maybe I just want dessert. I don't have to get rid of those other things that I don't want. I can accept that they're just there, but I don't have to put my energy or attention on them. I don't have to give my energy over to thoughts that hold that energy of the shadow. I don't have to entertain that. They can be there, but here's the thing. The less you entertain those old thoughts that are rooted in shadow, the less they come around. You just don't notice it. And it's kind of there. It's like it's always there. You can accept that. Again, you're not trying to get rid of it, but you've moved more of your energy towards purposing it, towards serving the only master, the one that's really rooted in love, which, in a sense, that's the only master, is love, because everything comes from that and everything returns to that. So I hope this is making sense, and I hope this fills you with a kind of lightness and maybe a kind of innocence and sense of wonder, and puts the power back where it needs to be, within you. Because the second you don't trust and have faith in all the love that you are, that's when we start putting importance on external things to give us what we think we need. The world can't give you anything. Anything outside of you can't give you anything. It's even, when I talk about the gene keys, again, this is a tool. It's something, yes, external to you. It's a structure. That's all it is. It helps you to understand this easier. And it works very well as a tool and a structure. But is it the answer? No. You are the answer. And the second you think any answer is outside of you, you're already dead in the water. Working with the gene keys, what it does is it helps you redirect. It's a container that helps you redirect all your power back to where it needs to be, within yourself. This is what allows you to be endlessly creative instead of constantly consumptive, meaning you're consuming all the things outside of yourself, and yet you still feel empty. You're ticking off all the boxes, you're doing all the things, you're performing, instead of being in presence with yourself, with all the love that you are. Because that's if there are answers to be had, it's within that presence with yourself and all the love that you are. And so if you do want to check out Flourish program, I have the link in the description of this video. And you don't need it. You don't need anything. But it's incredibly helpful if you find that you're constantly outsourcing all of your power and thinking that there's some answer outside of you to give you what you want, to give you the feeling that you want. It's all within you right now. What are you making a meal out of? And what master in your imagination are you being loyal to? The one that's based in worry or fear, or the one that is based in trust and faith and love and all the love that you are? Are you nourished by all the love that you are? This Flourish program helps you do that, if that calls to you. So I want to wish you so much love, and I truly hope this message landed in a way that it resonates and keeps activating this energy of your curiosity within you about how to give yourself over. Just lean in and surrender to all the love that you are, because that's where it's at, folks. Many blessings.